Come on. Show it over here. Okay, so I'm showing that it says live on one screen, but not my other. Are we actually live? Okay, so if we're actually live, there we go. Okay. So we are live, Zaza.
Yes.
Hello, peoples.
Hello. I would like it noted I was here on time.
Yeah, I was a tardy one, guys. I can't help it. And of course, I got a camera that is not functioning properly, it looks like. Okay, gotta play with this desk camera again. For whatever reason, I keep having to mess with that.
Hi, Melissa. Hi, Michelle. Hi, June.
Yes, yes, yes. We have Michelle and Auntie Patricia Arbuckle and Janet and Mary G and Anita, which is Diana.
Yeah.
And Mama Debbie. Mama Debbie, I got your book today that I won from you. Thank you so much. And let's see here. We got Melissa and Big Brother if he's in here listening. If not, hello, hello on replay. And then we got June. And let's see. And looky there, we got Zaza.
That'll be like my one and only comment in the chat tonight.
That's okay. I am just trying to get my screens all fixed up. And I see my other one is, oh, nope. Seems like it's okay. Let's see. That's the only downfall to using Zoom as for the of doing this and everything is the fact that it gets crazy sometimes. Because I'm like using my OBS so I can have both my cameras and I'm using Zoom. So I did my OBS as a virtual camera.
I'm wondering why my sewing light isn't working, but somebody's unplugged it.
Uh-oh.
There we go. I can see now. Wait a minute.
Anita, I am so used to doing my live streams now on Wednesdays at 6:30. And for whatever reason, I do not know what reason, but I scheduled it for 7:30 or for 6 o'clock today. And I don't know what I was thinking. What happens when I'm like half asleep trying to do this stuff. So let's see. Hello, Vicky Butch. How are you doing today? Thank you for coming hanging out with us.
Hi, Vicky.
Yes, Big Bird. Auntie Michelle is on here with me right now, so I'm sure she's probably saying hi to Sky, Kiwi, and Quasar. But you'll be okay for today. You can have Auntie Michelle back tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Please have. Got the stand in tonight.
So, what is everybody else working on tonight? And what are you working on tonight, Zaza?
I'm going to be doing some 3/4 inch hexes, that size. That's about as big as I like to go.
How big?
3/4 of an inch.
3/4 of an inch?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that's the reason why you sent me the 1 inchers.
Yeah, they're too big for me.
I am like completely loving them.
But a lot of people like them when they're learning because they're a sort of good beginner size. They're not too big, they're not too small. They're the Goldilocks ones.
Yup. Yeah, they're perfect because I mean I can use 2.5 inch squares.
Yeah.
And so it's like all my scrap fabric. I just been cutting into 2.5-inch pieces and everything to do them.
Well, I just usually I cut 2.5-inch strips, and then I'll just go along a strip.
Oh, okay. Hey,
And then,
Tasha and Denise.
hi Tasha, you get 16 at a strip with the
Oh,
fabric
okay.
strip. You get 16 at a layer cake as well.
Yeah, I just been using my scraps of all the previous projects I've done and everything that I have scraps of. So I've been using my AccuQuilt cutter to cut them into 2.5-inch squares, which I have a die that does that of 9 at a time, which works out perfectly because that way there I got that done up, and this is gonna be so pretty together. Okay, get this right here. Look at here, Zaza.
Oh,
That flower
that's
is
nice.
gonna be super pretty, and that the gold one is actually the center one. Let's see. Oh, Tasha, I watched your video from the other day and everything of you doing the EPP. That was cool. It says playing with my scraps that I got from Debbie. Awesome sauce.
You want to see my favorite block?
Yes.
And this is why it's my favorite.
So Tasha, the ones that I was talking about that fits on the 2.5-inch strips is these right here. They're the 1-inch Hetsies.
It's a giant dilly flower.
Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous.
But look whose name's in the middle of it.
I can't really tell from the design.
It's Jenny from Missouri Star.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
She signed it for me last year when I met at Festival of Quilts, and Natalie and Misty. And then she signed the little one as well.
Oh, so adorable.
And Jenny, that's like, don't care about your seams. You know, it doesn't matter about the back. If somebody looks at the back, they shouldn't be. First thing she did was turn it over to look at my stitching.
Like, hey, that your motto was that if they look at your seams, they're not your friend.
Well, I said that, and she just laughed and she said, "Yeah, but your seams are great." I was like, "Yes." I like the back to be neat. Some people just cut a square and just fold it over. They don't trim it up.
I tried doing that, and my control freak self and everything had to go back and trim it. I
But
couldn't. I couldn't.
it's all the bulk you have then if you're.
Yes. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be hand quilting this. I need the least amount of bulk as possible. Hey, Joy Lita.
I Joyty, that's like me because I hand quilt them, and it's like no, that's just going to make life difficult.
Yes. Let's see. Cleaning my stovetop and listening, Auntie Patricia says, and Joy says hi, Danalita and Zagalita and chat. We got all the Litas here.
Well, Joyty and I we did our own Joy because Debbie didn't give us Spanish names, so we made
Hi,
our own.
shall we? Mama Debbie, how dare you try and not make them feel loved by giving them their own special name?
Spanish. There's no Spanish version for Zaza. And Joyty's like, challenge accepted.
We'll have Alita for you, Alita for you, and Alita for you.
Yeah.
Everybody is just Alita. Now, when you're doing like two headpiece together, like I'm about to do right here, where you thumb the two petals on, you're about to fold it over and do them. Do you like
Well, yeah,
pre-stitch here
just fold
or?
it. Yeah. But I sew all mine, I attach mine all on and then I do the side seams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just do mine all in one seam.
So I'll do all six, and then because then you're guaranteed that they're all going to fit on.
I just
And
figure
then,
that way there it keeps me from having to make so many knots.
but no, you should not at the end of every seam, because if you make a mistake and you have to pick one out,
Uh-huh.
or you get, say you get it dirty or something because you've been eating chocolate and you get a bit of chocolate on it and you need to take that bit of fabric out. If you've knotted it, then it's much easier for taking them out. If you've got to unpick one, you're not going to have your seams unraveling. Don't ask me how I know that.
Hello, Charlene. And Maria West. Hello, and Loretta Blevins.
Or if you're using
Hello.
hi, or you're using directional fabric and you stitch one in upside down.
This is the Zaza that you see all over YouTube. It is the Inappropriate Quilter Zaza. And I got her on my channel. My mama Debbie goes, wait, what? I didn't start this. It was just a Nolita. Then
No,
y'all went crazy.
you didn't give us Spanish names, Debbie. That's why we made our own. Joyty, they were like, no, there's not a Spanish version of Joyty. There's Mike got Miguel and
I know she went with Megalito or however you say it. I can't say it.
Buenasera. I can't say either.
Yeah, I cannot say that stuff. It's like, I do good with just English and a very, very faint amount of French. Like I can say, hi, how are you? And I can say very well in French. And that's about as the extent of my French.
I can only kind of speak pidgin French.
But I took French in high school.
So did I, but that was a long time ago.
Yes. It's about the same amount of time for both of us because we're about the same age.
No, I think I've got a few years on you. You're still a baby.
I like being the baby.
Tasha, she is the baby. She's only just
Yes, she is. She's little baby.
she's
So I
got
actually been playing with my headpiece, guys. And I made this right here. I made my very first quilted postcard today. And this is from scraps fabric that I used on on a couple of my mom's quilts. So this here is going to be going to my mom. She gets the very first quilted postcards. I was so proud of myself. Wound up being like, instead of 5x7, it actually was like 5.5x7 because of how wide that the headpiece are. But that's okay. Because it just means bigger space for beauty.
it's okay. There's no postcard, please.
Right? And if they are, then they can go away. Because they're not welcomed here. See, Mama Debbie said I learned Spanish after I was 14 when my mom took us back to PR. And Denise says French is my first language. Very cool. Tasha, I've been wanting to as well. I've actually had the postcard paper for like forever now. For like a good, maybe like, long time. 6 months, something like that. And
I'm
I
just
just,
using. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Carry on.
yeah, I just like, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to jump in and do it today. Rip off the Band-Aid and just jump right in.
I just use my EPP card stock for postcards.
Alrighty. And I used a little, so on my little crate right here, bring the camera up. So on my crate right here that I got from Joann's, I used just an ordinary wooden toothpick, put it right down the middle of my spool, and stuck it right in the wedge here. At the red. for the thread dispenser.
You should be 3D printing.
I've been looking for a specific type of design because I want one where I can also have like the binding, where I have like a binding spool or other stuff on it, like a full complete stand or something. I'm like just looking around to see what can pique my interest before I have the guys print it for me. And not caring what color of thread I use either. So I'm like, it's not like you're really actually going to see. And I'm using so many different colors that it just really doesn't matter to me.
I don't color match my thread. I like the bottom line thread because it's thinner, so my stitches disappear. But I've got like an off-white, a light grey, and a dark grey, and that's all I use.
And somehow or another, I have misplaced my. Is it to get mixed up in with all this?
Oh, Debbie's making buttonholes. They scare me.
Ooh,
I
yum,
can
yum,
do
yum.
zips, but buttonholes are like, ooh, no.
Yeah,
And
so these here are all ones I've been working on this week. I even used some of my
That's lovely fabric.
Huh?
That's lovely fabric.
Oh, I love it.
That
Like
pink one.
the this one here, or
Yeah, and the one next to it. No.
yeah.
That one, yeah.
This here actually has flowers on it, but I cut it up into 2.5-inch squares and then fussy cutted. So what I've been doing is taking the paper, putting the paper over the fabric, this square piece of fabric. Let's say it was like this right here. And then just taking scissors and cutting so far away from the fabric. So that way there's like, I can just eyeball it and I have roundabout enough to do it.
I use the add a quarter ruler if you've got one of them.
The what?
You know, the add a quarter rulers for foundation paper piecing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a actual hexagon template where the paper fits perfectly on the center. But I tried cutting it out right to that exact size using that template that gives you the little seam allowance on there. But it was not a large enough seam allowance for me.
I don't like using templates, to be honest. I prefer drawing around them and then cutting them out with scissors.
Mm-hmm. I've misplaced my.
But you might find you prefer a 3/8 seam allowance.
Yeah, I'm like, so far as of right now, I'm like liking like a little bit larger than 1/4 inch seam allowance.
A lot of people like that on bigger shapes. They like a bigger seam allowance. It's once you get into it and you realize all the pieces that can tessellate. So you can have like triangles, hexagons, half hexagons.
Oh, I can't wait to get into some of that. I'm
And you
like
can
massively hooked.
basically just play with them until you get a design you like.
Yeah, I'm like right now I'm just having fun playing with hexagons, but I cannot wait to get into some of the other shapes.
But like the 60-degree triangles, 6 of them make a hexagon.
True.
So you can, you can have whole hexagons and then you can have some triangles making hexagons and you can have half so it doesn't have to just be.
Yeah, broaden the horizon some.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Sorry, I was looking down so much. I've been busy trying to thread a needle since I don't know where my needle threader would. Must still be downstairs. So I had to go look down there after I get done with this. I need to order me some more.
I always say Katie, but she's actually Christine, isn't she?
Oh, I can hear him now. So cute.
No, it's not. He does it all the time, like 24/7.
I know
This
it's
was
not cute to you, but it's cute to me because it's
this
like,
is the
oh.
dog that we thought he was mute when he was young. He didn't make a sound, and then he went deaf, and he hasn't shut up ever since. Apparently, it's quite common for deaf dogs to be noisy.
Hey, Vintage Show, how you doing, love?
Hi, Joe.
So funny of how you can be like, oh, well, I can do so many of these during my live stream and everything because, you know, this I just knock these out like crazy. And then you get on a live stream, it takes like 30 times the amount of time to do them
Yeah,
because you're
because
on camera.
also you're stopping to check and basting them when you're probably on a live stream because you baste as you go. I like base a pile. So I've got a few flowers basted,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll sew a few, and then I'll baste a few, and then I'll sew a few.
Yeah, what I've been doing is like during the daytime to keep my hands busy whenever I'm like on hold on a call or something. I have been making up all the headsies, basting them. And I just try and baste them like, try to find one where you guys can see the thread, like this right here. So I just thread baste mine like that one there. It needs to be cleaned up of the fabric, but I'll clean that up when I get ready to sew it on. And then in the evening, whenever I'm watching movies with the families, then I'll try and sew it like this right here of into the actual flower.
If you can hear them, that means everybody can hear them.
It's okay. It just sounds like a grumbling tummy.
It's not me, honestly.
And I just ate, so it's not my tummy going crazy. There's a little boy down there over Zaza that says, Mommy, give me attention. Quit talking to everybody. Give me attention.
That's exactly what he's saying. Speaking to it's not me. I'm jealous. So that's the fabric that I'm doing just now.
Yup.
It's a little ditzy floral print.
Oh my goodness gracious. Those are tiny. How big is that?
That's 3/4 of an inch.
Oh wow, that was so much smaller than what my 1 inchers do.
Oh, it's amazing though, because you know that giant flower earlier? That was a 2.5 inch.
Oh wow.
So it's not, they jumped hugely in size.
Nanita says, you all are making me want to try EPP. Girl, it is fun and it's easy and it's a great way to use up scraps because look at this. All different wild crazy colors up here. I'm going to have every color under the rainbow in this quilt and I'm not putting it together any rhyme or reason. Like the individual flowers, I'm having them match. Like how these here are all matching based upon what's in the center. But at the same time, when I put them all together, I'm not making them match. I don't care what goes where. It's just going to be super scrappy and fun and happy. And hey, Marie. She says, hi, I can't stay, but when I clicked on YouTube, I saw you were here. I hope you ladies and everyone in the chat have fun. You too, honey. Thank you. Marie Scrappy Creations is in the chat, Zaza.
Yeah, hi Marie.
And for anyone that does not know how to measure or how to know what size you are working on, for a hexagon, if you measure on the short side right here, from that point to that point, that would tell you how many inches that this is, or what the measurement of the hexagon is. Like for mine are 1 inch. So from this point to this point, it's 1 inch.
But if you do measure across the middle, it's half from point to point. It's half of that is the size. Because paper craft, they measure. So if you buy a punch to punch out your hexagons, it'll say it's a 2-inch punch. But what will come, they measure it point to point, and it will actually be a 1-inch hexagon.
Oh, wow.
Because paper craft measure point to point, whereas for English paper piecing, they measure the sides, just to confuse everybody.
Right?
Got to throw that in there.
I had someone tell me before that, oh, the hexagons are 2 inches wide. And I'm like, went to go do it. I'm like, I drew it out for whatever reason for something or other being 2 inches wide, thinking the short edges, not across the center. And I'm like, that's not 2 inches. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I started Googling it and everything and found out how that it's actually measured. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's just done to confuse you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Diana, if you're going to start this, you'll either love it or you'll hate it. And if you love it, it's highly addictive.
It is. It is very
So
addictive.
just be warned, that's my disclaimer.
Everybody told me the disclaimer. I didn't believe them. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, how? Why? No. I'm
Oh,
like,
Sherry. Oh, getting everybody addicted.
if you need a good spot to order 1-inch hexagon papers from, I got a good spot that ordered mine from. They're really nice. They're the ones that are like this right here that has a hole in the center for pulling the paper out. Make it easy. Makes sense. The radius squared is the circumference. Phew, that hurt too much math.
There's
Right?
lots of places online that do, I'll have free PDFs for you to download and cut them out. Some of them might even have free SVG files if you've got a paper cutting machine, like a Cricut or something.
Yup.
But the English
Turns out
paper,
you can actually cut the paper using an AccuQuilt cutter too.
the only thing is it'll blunt your dies quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seemed like it would. Not that I really
Most things
intended
are
on doing it. I was
expensive.
just curious if it was something that was possible. And when I looked it up, turns out you could. But I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to have to replace those dies because those dies cost too much money.
Yep.
I'm like, I can just draw it out and cut it.
But English paper piecing's really becoming popular.
It has. Ever since I got the interest for it and you sent me those first set of papers, I have been seeing it pop up everywhere now.
But I joined a group on Facebook, the English Paper Piecing Collective, and there was like about, I think there was 1,000 and something people in it, and that was 3 years ago. And there's now like 50 odd thousand people in the group. It just seems to have become really, really popular.
Diana, I can see if I can help you find something. Like what size hexagon are you wanting to start with? 1 inch is a good size, a good beginner size that Zaza said. Hey, so Terry, how are you doing? Anybody in here that has a YouTube channel, feel free to do exclamation selfie into the chat and I'll drop your link to share your channel. That's funny. I got the desk camera on, but I'm sitting back like this right here right now. I'm like, just chilling. Not being so far up on the camera today.
Just realised that cushion's covering half the screen.
It's okay. You were just covered in fur.
Oh, the dog's finally shut up. He's stopped groaning and moaning.
Let's see. Everybody's saying hi, hi, hi. Nadita says 1 inch. Okay, well, I can help you find something and then send it to you.
If
Let's
you're quite
see.
happy to cut out your own papers, you'll get 3
Yeah, she's
download.
looking for a 1 inch Hexagon
You can
printable that
print.
she can be able to print out
Yeah,
herself.
you'll get them on the English Paper Piecing Facebook group. They've got a file section that's got lots of free shapes, so you'll get them there. Or you'll get them on Emma Jones, the Vintage Sewing Box, I think it is, on YouTube. She's got a web page and you can get to that through her YouTube channel. And she's got free downloads. And I'm sure Elise Beck, which is spelled Baek, Elise Beck, she's got free downloads on her website as well.
Oh, awesome.
But I know the English Paper Piecing group, Facebook group, has in the file section, there's free downloads. Because that
Marie,
was
take
where,
care of yourself too, honey, and have a great night. She's
sure
getting
you
ready
go.
for bed.
Hi, Katie. Hi, Dee.
Hey, Day. Hey, Katie. Greenland Quilter. We're just sitting here doing some handwork. Doing our EPP tonight. Just nice and relaxing EPP. Next week, we'll be going back to the gnomes. But Wednesday evening was the best time for Zaza, so I changed it up a little bit for this week.
Yeah, because I go for my naps in the afternoon at the weekend when you're on. That sounds really wrong. That's my nap time when you happen to be on. Not I go for my nap because you're on.
Yeah, we can't interrupt nap time.
No. Because that's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon here
Yeah.
when
Yeah, I
you
always
come on.
forget whenever I tell people what time I go live, I always forget that there's some that are not over here on this side of the pond.
Yeah.
I'm like, oopsies. Oh, someone's burning something outside. That's either my guys or a neighbor.
So, Katie, what's Nikolai going to sew? What have you got prepared for him?
Yeah, I seen that. She's teaching him how to sew.
Yeah, and that you're going to have a sew off that.
Uh-oh. Man, Katie, if he starts liking that, how are you going to be able to try and handle supporting two people, two quilters in the house?
Listen, it'll be cheaper than Lego.
Let's see.
Joy
Yeah,
to the
my Joanne's is closing on the 23rd. So anybody in the Michigan area that is relatively close to the Roseville, Michigan area, the Roseville, Michigan store Joanne's store is closing on the 23rd. They were originally going to close on the 30th, but the owner upped it to the 23rd because they didn't want to pay the holiday pay, from what I heard.
nice.
Yeah. Let's see, is Nikolai going to make a quilt? I went Sunday. Melissa says, hey, Eva. How you doing, love?
Hi, Eva. Did you get lots of
Hey,
nice
Joanna.
things? How did you get on today, Joanna?
The hers is closing on May 27th. Bolts were 70% off plus an extra 50% off of the balance. Oh, wow. I didn't even ask how much the bolts were at mine because I'm like, I was looking at their bolts and I'm like, I'm like, there wasn't really one that caught my attention that was a full bolt. So I just found all the bolts that have like 3 yards or less on it and bought those. Because my biggest thing is I just wanted to find like the ones that I could be using for backgrounds or like the honeybee ones, of course.
But you got great fabric deals at was it the Dollar Tree somewhere?
Yeah, because I had that Dollar Tree that was closing down.
Yeah.
My 19 yards of fabric from Dollar Tree. That was crazy. How about some patterns and some extra cutting mat? Awesome sauce, Joy.
Katie, you might not be tickled when he starts stealing your fabric if he likes it.
Right? I'm like, I can barely afford my own habit, more or less, afford his.
Yeah,
My husband is not coming in my room in here.
wait till he starts raiding your stash.
Oh, heck no. My husband had to be building his own stash. Like, get out of my space. Not sharing.
Joanna, I hope it's not too sore for you. You having to lie on your front.
Let's see, that's how I define. Still here. I am now the proud owner of a more titanium in my. You got a booty of metal.
That sounds painful.
Uh-huh. $500 plus plate, 122 attached. Oh, goodness gracious.
Wow, that's a great saving.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. I don't even know how much my saving was last time. Got the receipt right here, though. Let's see. My last trip to Joanne Fabrics, which was, I believe, what, last weekend? I think it was. I spent 98.66 and I saved 188.13.
Wow.
Let's see. Yep, last week, 510. Yeah, I was looking for purple yarn for my mom, but they didn't have any purple. I'm like, how do you not have purple? They said they're going to be getting more restock and everything on a daily basis, but I'm like, I'm not coming up here on a daily basis.
Joy to we all need Dave's basement.
Yes. I don't know what I'd do with that much space. I think
Fill it
that'd
with
be just too much
fabric.
space for my brain.
Fill it with fabric. Do what Dave's done. She's got all the toys.
I don't have that kind of money.
You don't do it all at once, though.
I'd be like, honey, I gotta go to Joanne's again. He'd be like, why? What for now? Didn't you just come back from there? Yeah, but I still have an empty spot. I went to a new Dollar Tree today. They had zero fabric. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Vintage. So is anybody else in here like doing EPP? Put a heart in the chat if you like doing EPP. Let's see here. Do 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 do. I've never seen material of any of our dollar stores. Sorry, Eva. Let's see. Joanna says, Danelle, my dog used a 3D printer medical company to print 4 custom titanium screws. That is so cool. Don't get by a hot fire. Let's see. That's too much responsibility. I had to figure out space in my house. Joanna, how are you feeling? I've never done EPP. Katie says. Andrea says heart. I know she likes doing EPP. I've run out of spots to put fabric, Eva says. Well, I can always store it for you, Eva. If you need a storage place, I got you. I'll
Okay,
store
Eva,
your fabric for you.
you'll have space after Debbie's visited with her truck.
Right?
She's gonna ram raid that place. She's like, I'm going on my truck.
I know. When she said she was bringing her truck, I was like, oh my gosh, Ma, seriously. Like, where are you going to put it, Mother?
I've run out of space too. It's a serious problem.
If Dahlia runs out of space, we all got problems.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I can buy faster than I can sew.
Yeah, same here.
And then I have that thing that, oh, I'm not cutting that fabric, it's too nice. And I'm not cutting that fabric, it's too nice.
Well, that's the whole reason why I made that one fabric you sent me as a pillowcase for my mom, because I'm like, I can't cut into this. I'm like, this is too pretty to cut into. And I already had enough fabric as it was for doing the quilt front and back. So I'm like, I'm just going to make a pillowcase and she can have the pillowcase. And I incorporated some of the scraps of the fabric into the top of the pillowcase so that way they're worked all together. Let's see. No EP, I'm a yo-yo girl, Auntie Patricia says. And so Terry says, I sew my headsies without papers, so I guess I don't do EPP. See, somehow I got a 15-yard bolt of Pellon thermal plus fleece for $15. It was regularly $170. Oh my gosh. I save all my cottage cheese container lids and such and cut out my templates out of them. They are reusable forever. Awesome.
Terry, I couldn't do that because my stitches would go wonky and then my hexagons wouldn't fit if I didn't have the papers in them. My seams would end up being off.
Let's see. Zaza, fabric collecting is its own separate hobby.
Joanna, you are 100% correct. I keep telling my husband that's two completely separate things.
I know, I'm going to have to kick somebody out of the house because I need more space.
And he'll say to me, if I buy fabric, he'll say, is that fabric for sewing or is it for petting?
It's multi-purpose for both.
Mm-hmm. But some are not for sewing, some are just for looking at.
Yes.
Before they cut me off, the kids bought me some nice Liberty fabric. I'm like, that's not getting cut. That's just getting taken out and stroked occasionally and then put back in the drawer.
Oh, Joanna, that's a good idea. She said that my oldest one, AJ, the one that does a lot of the designing of the 3D printing stuff and all, she said that maybe he could check out doing medical 3D printing.
Oh no, it's got to be done by special companies because it's got to be sterile.
That is true.
It's done in a sterile environment. Because when I was going to get my rib fixed, the stuff for that, although it had to be plastic for mine. It couldn't be metal for my metal work was going to hold it in place. But the initial thing for the sizing for the bone grafts was going to be 3D printed. And they were 3D printing the metalwork that was going to hold the bone grafts. But
Oh, okay.
it's special medical, so it's all sterile and everything.
Jordy had Joanne's fear of missing out, FOMO.
The FOMO is real.
It is. Dahlia says that my baby girl gave me a gift certificate for a quilt shop here in Indy. Had to use it, right? Yeah. You have to use it. It'd just be rude not to. It was the wrapping paper I want to make into a quilt top based on its design, Andrea. According to, that's what Katie Greenland Quilter says. Okay, I remember now. Sure, no problem. Oh, okay. They're having a separate conversation.
Yeah.
Jordy, that's not even all of them. I have bundles of them over here.
Yeah, but they go down quickly because you need 7 for every flower. So
Yep. So I have 2 stacks here of, oops, get back over there. So I got 2 stacks here. Look, Zaza.
oh
And I got
yeah.
them separate. I got every 7 separated out by a piece of paper. So that way there I can keep them all separate and organized and know how many flowers I have ready to make up. And these are just the ones I haven't decided on what type of flower they're going to look like yet.
Some people just like basting them, they don't like sewing them. So they'll baste them and then sell them on Etsy all ready
I
to go.
seen that earlier. I was like, I like the basting on because I can do that. That's like mindless stitching I can do that keeps my fingers busy while I'm working.
But I like it because it stops me filling my face when I'm
Yes.
watching TV. If I'm doing that, it keeps me busy and then I don't. See, I sew
Keeps
mine
me
like
busy,
that.
keeps me from munching on food.
That's how I sew mine. So I stitch them all to the flower and then I'll stitch them all to get each other afterwards. But yeah, just fold it in half. Don't be precious about the paper. Just bend it to however you want it so it's comfy in your hand.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I just curious because wasn't for sure if anybody actually like creased the paper when they folded it in half or what.
Yeah, I just fold it.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's just paper.
And if you want
So,
to use them, when you press them before you take the papers out, it'll flatten the papers back down anyway.
oh, awesome. I did not know that. I usually try and just go ahead and rip the paper right out and keep moving.
No, you can reuse them.
I got one of the flower ones up here and everything. I actually had to put the paper back into it because it was actually the paper was coming out. I'm like, what are you doing? Get back in there. You're
Yeah,
an
that
edge
happens.
piece. You can't come out yet. I'm like, I didn't authorize this.
Yeah, the first time that happened to me, I panicked. I was like, "Oh no, what do I do?" And he's like, "Just stick it back in."
Let's see. Do, 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 do.
Because I
Joy,
like
did
to
you
give them
see
a
the
good press
papers?
before I take the papers out.
I have a quilt my great grandmother made for me that I think can pop up on the screen up here. That she made of Hetties, but instead of flowers, they were shaped into diamonds.
Oh,
I will take a
nice.
picture and send it to you to look at. Yes, please do. I cannot wait to see that. That would be super cool to see.
You could always post it in, seeing as you didn't have pizza the other night, Andrea, you could also post it in the Discord group.
Yup. I have an EPP quilt that my mom started, going to be interesting. You got this, girl. It's fun. It's fun, fun, fun.
That's it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be, as long as you enjoy the process.
Yes. And I'm definitely enjoying.
And the
And
great
the
thing
best
about
part about this one here is I don't care if there's boo-boos or not, because this one's gonna be mine. So boo-boos are welcomed.
but the great thing about English paper piecing is there isn't really any rules. People will tell you there's rules, but there's not
And
really.
there's my flower of tonight.
Oh, pretty.
I love the gold in it.
Yeah,
It really makes the gold in the lighter
like a
fabric
daisy.
pop. Loaded another 20 dresses in my car to donate. Maybe someone can use them. They are taking up room in my closet. Right? You need that room for fabric. Let's see. Let's do this scrappy one. So now we are going to work on this one here, where the center is going to be purple. Oops. Okay, let me put the camera back down. You guys can actually see what I'm going to lay out here. The center is going to be loud and crazy. I'm thinking like this. Well, the center is not going to be wild and crazy, but the petals all are. Pink and purple shades.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yep. See, I can do scrappy.
But you couldn't, I bet you couldn't do scrappy where you just have the box and you just pick one out without looking at it and stitch it down. Like
No,
true
because I know
scrappy.
my luck, I would pick two of the same color. I'm like, no, no, no. Two of the same cannot be together.
I've seen people that do that way. They don't even look, they just take it and stitch it on. I'm like, nope.
See, that I wouldn't mind doing, but I'm like, I got so many in here that are all of the same thing. I'm like, I want different or somewhat coordinating for the flowers, and then wherever they get placed, they get placed.
I can only do coordinated scrappy.
I'm trying to free myself. I'm trying to embrace the scrappy and the less control. I'm struggling with it, but I'm trying.
No, I just can't do it. It hurts my brain. I'm just like, no.
I can to a certain point.
And sewing's meant to be a pleasurable pastime, so I'm not going to do things I don't like.
Yes, that is very true. I'm very understanding. Jordy says, very nice. Hey, Joyce JK, when did you sneak in here, young lady?
Like, everybody look away while I lick the thread.
Hey, Kathy. Oh, I do that all the time. You don't like it, don't look. I need my threads to work with me here, and sometimes you just gotta add a little slobber to get the needle, to get it to go through the needle just perfectly.
I hear you. Uh-huh.
Snell is in the Hetty paper, actual paper, or cardstock heavier paper.
Cardstock.
So some of it's cardstock I've actually used. So the other day when I was experimenting a little, I actually used, like those like Ace Hardware flyers you get with the coupons. I actually used some of it to make my own. cereal box is too heavy duty. You don't want to do cereal box because that's too heavy.
But photocopy paper is too light. Like printer
Yes.
paper is too lightweight.
Yeah, printer paper is too light. You want something heavier than printer paper, but not as heavy as cereal box. Because you want it to be able to bend some.
About £60, £65 cardstock's a good weight because it's bendy, but it's got enough body in it to hold so that you can fold a crease against it.
Oh, he again fussy. He being fussy boy tonight.
No, this is his normal.
Oh, this is his normal?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
especially when he's not getting my undivided attention. Yes.
Oh, so this is jealous baby.
Yes.
So it says Hugo that's being all jealousy?
Well, yeah, Lily's sound asleep.
Okay.
Even she gets annoyed with him. You see her looking at him and you can see her thinking, oh, for God's sake, shut up. He's not happy because I was out this evening.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, shush.
Hey, had to add DNA to every quilt, saliva or blood. It's a requirement, Eva says.
Eva's right. Yeah, it's usually blood.
Yeah, mine's usually blood. Or skin if I burnt my hand,
Well, you
arm.
did really badly the other day. You burnt yourself twice, did you not?
I've already burnt myself once today.
Was it when you were on Sean's on Saturday you burnt yourself
Yep.
twice?
I burnt myself on Sean's and then I burnt myself again on mine. And then after my live stream, I tried to sew a little bit. I'm like, I'm done. Because then I cut my finger.
I'm laughing.
I'm
That's
like,
not
calm down.
funny.
We're going to go garden.
Yeah. Then you get tetanus because you were gardening with a cut.
Oh, no, I wear gloves. I had on gloves, so. I don't always wear gloves, but that day I did because I knew I had open cuts. And you never know what you're going to be digging into in the dirt.
And did you see Alicia? Her poor finger, she cut herself with the rotary cutter.
I didn't see that.
And she needed 5 stitches in her finger.
Oh, no. That is horrible.
I don't know if the rotary cutter slipped or whatever. I missed that bit on her live stream, but she ended up with 5 stitches in her finger. It looked nasty.
Who
Must have
was
been
that did that?
Alicia from Quilty Bird.
Oh, okay. Oh, that poor girl.
But it must have been a deep cut to have 5 stitches in it because it wasn't a big cut.
Yeah, I usually just try to go, okay, we're gonna put a band-aid over this and see if it stops. If it don't stop, then we'll discuss with the husband other options. I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital unless it's a requirement. It's not happening. Let's see. I make my own templates out of plastic cottage cheese container lids. They last forever, Andrea says. Jordy says, laugh out loud, Hugo. Index cards are great too. Yes, index cards would be good.
Be careful using coloured card though, because the colour can bleed out the card into the fabric. And you don't want to use, what's the stuff that they use in schools? It's called the sort of craft paper.
Oh, construction paper?
Construction paper.
Yeah, that seems like that would be just too flimsy.
Because if you glue based, it doesn't, you can't get the papers out.
I thought about glue basting, but I'm like, I really don't want to take any chances of not getting my paper out or wasting all that paper. I'm like, I'd much rather just sew based.
if you have any issues getting them out, if you give it a little quick press with a hot iron, it just pops out. It softens the glue.
Like last time I tried to glue something that involved paper, my paper wound up getting stuck to my fabric. I was like, okay, note to self, don't use glue unless I don't need it to come back. Yeah, I've already done ironed my fingers once today. So right across my middle finger right there.
I hate if you get the bit with iron just right above your fingernail, that bit that sort of the skin's really thin but it's tight. I usually get that with the steam from the iron.
Yeah, I think I need some heat resistant gloves for the top of my hands.
You just need to be in a bubble.
Probably. But then how am I supposed to get to my needle and thread?
I hate burns. I hate the way they knit.
Yeah, it was like very hot and tingly for a good half an hour after I did it today. I'm like, well, that's gonna leave a mark.
And then if it doesn't hurt, that's when you worry. If it's a burn and it's not sore.
Uh-huh. That's like with me for whatever reason I keep getting all these like marks. Let's see, the claw marks here are actually from gardening. I was pulling weeds over the weekend and got a bunch of scratches on my arm from the prickers. Had the gloves on, but it didn't help my arms whatsoever whenever the prickers were rubbing up against my arms. But somehow or another, I keep waking up with like a bruise on my arm that matches my fingerprint. I'm like,
Matches your fingerprint.
yeah, it matches my fingerprint. So I've noticed that when I get stressed out, I actually grab my arm and squeeze. Because I've actually woken up from like grabbing my arm and the bruise will actually match my thumbprint perfectly.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, well, crap.
If I get stressed, I sleepwalk.
I also like to grind my teeth, which drives me crazy because I wake up in the morning with a headache. Let's see, no ironing of the fingers. Yes, I know. Turns out the wrinkles don't come out if you use an iron.
No. What's great for burns actually is the lidocaine plasters.
Maybe I should have used starch first. Hello, Miss Linda. Our cell lady is here.
Hi, Linda.
Yeah, if you put a bit of honey on the burn ASAP, it will stop it burning and lessens the severity. About 15 minutes on, lukewarm, rinse, and repeat. Awesome sauce.
I didn't know that, Joanna.
You would think as a beekeeper I would, but yeah.
But honey is super healing.
It is very medicinal. I know anytime I get an open cut, if you put like my lip balms, if I try and put that over like an open cut, by the next day it's completely sealed up and looking way better than if I try and use like a antibiotic ointment or something. Let's see.
We've done
Fresh local honey, she
honey
said.
for wound care.
Awesome sauce. Miss Linda says she's been working on her 1.5-inch HSTs. You have to wear mittens to bed like they do for babies, right? Oh, Eva says that she uses mint toothpaste on her burns.
Can you still hear him groaning away?
Yes. He's so cute. I know it's annoying, but to you, but it's
Oh, I've got
adorable
used
to
to it.
us. We don't ever get to hear him, so it's super cute. Your lip balm has vitamin E in it, which is also good for burns. Yes. Yeah, vitamin E is actually what the vitamin E actually makes it also last longer too. So the lip balms normally would only be good for lip balms or thread conditioners would normally only be good for like a few weeks, but with the vitamin E in it, it actually makes it last like 6 months.
Beeswax is great for when your hand's sewing. If you can't get your
Yup.
needle, if you can't get your needle threaded, you just run the tip of your thread through the beeswax, and then you cut it, and you'll thread your needle no problem.
Let's see.
Yeah, one look, that's taken me all that time to baste and sew that, so it's not a fast, not a fast project.
So pretty though.
Okay, Grumpy, I'll speak to you. Yes.
Yeah, I think I like it better like this. Okay. Andrea says that her two pugs snore in harmony. That is adorable. And then he just wants to join the conversation. Yes, he does. He does
Yeah,
not like feeling neglected.
but Eva, he can't hear the conversation because he's deaf. He's stone deaf. He can't hear anything.
I wonder if I got a needle threader in here. This is my hand quilting kit here. So you think there'd be one in here. There is, there is, there is. Woohoo!
Well, if you come round the other way, I'll help you out.
It's a cheapies, but it'll work for now. Normally I thread like 5 needles before I start working on these. That way they're already threaded and ready to go.
Lily's not pleased because she wants back up on the couch and she can't get up because she goes in the way.
I use a lip balm for thread conditioner. It works great. Yes, it does.
Right, you come out just now. Right, then you'll get up. Look, there you go. You move.
Joe says, Andrea, my fur children were just singing the song of their people. A howl a howl along in unison. Aw, baby.
That's Lily settled for the night.
Aw. She's such a cutie pie.
But she's nice and quiet though. Hugo is now standing on his cool mat, so that's progress.
Yes. Hey, Carrie Quilts and Mona did what? How are you both doing tonight?
Hi, Mona. Hi, Carrie Quilts. Hi, Joyce K.
My baby screams more than anything. Yeah, Luna Bell has developed this like really annoying ear piercing yelp whenever she's trying to get attention, which since we had discovered that's what she's doing, then now we just ignore her, and she's actually been stopping it for the most part.
Well, the problem is if they're smart and something works, they'll keep doing it.
Yeah, I told the guys, I'm like, do not acknowledge her. Do not even look in her direction when she does that. I'm like, because if she's doing it right before mealtime, like she'll do sometimes, then I'll just completely ignore her. And I'll make her wait until she's done before I give her any food.
Because puppies are a bit like kids. It's bad attention's just the same as good
Mm-hmm.
attention. So if you give them a row, she's still got your attention.
Right? Hey, Brenda says she's saying, I'm assuming she's saying hi, but can't stay awake.
Oh wow,
Like,
Patricia, 18. That's ancient for a basset.
oh wow. Yes, he looks like the cartoon Droopy. Couldn't sleep last night, so I was able to make 23 new teapots before I left for surgery. Oh wow, girl. See, my surgeon picked out a space chicken one for himself and a mermaid one for his daughter. Aw, that's so sweet of you. I like the look of bassets, but I've heard they have like this really annoying howling.
These two don't howl at all. And it's like anything else, it depends what you allow.
Yes.
My last one used to howl every time he heard classical music or a police siren or a fire engine or an ambulance. Anytime there's a siren, he howled.
Oh, you should hear it when we first start work in the morning. It's like, okay, so we start working at 8:30 in the morning. And by like 9:30, my front room sounds like if there's a herd of elephants in a big, huge fight. Because they are all three in their playpen being rambunctious and running around and acting like wild heathens.
I did warn you.
And I come up here, I'm like, what the world are you guys doing? And they'll just stop and look at me and then continue. I'm like,
Yeah,
excuse me, I was talking to you.
they're having fun. They're puppies.
Yes.
You still got them contained. They don't get.
So far, yes, but they're only contained mainly whenever we're outside
Yeah.
or or when we're working.
Well, you need them to be safe when you're not
Yes.
there.
Well, then plus they're not 100% potty trained yet, and we don't want them peeing all over everything.
No, that's
And
never.
we don't fully trust Sophie alone with them. Like at least, I mean, she's still with them, alone with them whenever we're downstairs working for the most part. But at least there's a playpen barrier.
Yeah, which she's unlikely to cross.
Yes. Because she already knows that she's not allowed to mess with that.
Thing is,
So
you
there's
can't.
like that mental barrier for her where there's a physical barrier for the pups.
Yeah, but you can't blame her for getting a bit jealous.
Oh no, and she's actually been doing really, really good with them. I'm very impressed with her. And I knew that we were going to have some issues at the beginning because I mean, for one, we just lost Loki and which was her baby. And then all of a sudden I bring in three new ones.
But also, there's the whole kind of pack pecking orders thing as well.
Yeah, I can already tell you right now that Luna's going to be taking over Sophie's role whenever Sophie's gone. Because Luna acts like head honcho. Like Pitsy and Chewy will both submit to Sophie. They'll lay down and show their belly. Not Luna. Luna's like, yep, I don't think so, Brad.
You might find they have a few arguments till the pecking order is sorted out.
Oh, if she start, as long as she's not acting like she's gonna bite them, then I just let her deal with it.
No, yeah, because you have to, because I mean that's what would happen.
Yeah. I'm like, as long as I can tell she's not like going to like bite them type of thing, like if she's just giving them a warning.
Usually it's just a growl they give them.
She doesn't. She'll bare her teeth.
Mm. But as long
When
as
she
she's not
bares her
biting
teeth,
them.
well, see, with Sophie, she'll bare her teeth, and when she bares her teeth, she's like letting them know, back off,
Yeah.
and she'll do it multiple times before she goes to snap. Oh, it's so adorable. Hey, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
See, Joanna says to now, all Bassets howl. In fact, one of my Dotsies taught my youngest Basset how hope to howl. Aww.
Lily sometimes howls in her sleep if she's dreaming and it'll waken her up. And then she wakes up and she looks about. She's like, who made that noise? And it's like, it was you.
Yeah, I've actually been taking like, so we got it fixed up towards like during our lunchtime, we'll each take a puppy out. One of us go on one side of the front yard, one go on the other side of the front yard, and one go in the backyard, and then we'll do this rotation. And I'll run back and forth with them like crazy to get the early afternoon energy out, and then I do it again after work, take them out running around, and then plus also try and get my blood flow pumping.
I know.
Let's see. No, Mona, someone's not hungry. The little guy Hugo is getting fussy because she's talking to us and not him.
Yeah, and I went out earlier, so he's not pleased.
He's expressing he's expressing the fact that he is not happy with his mommy at all right now.
Yeah.
And he's telling us all about it.
And Lily's also nicked his spot at my feet. So he can't get, he's not pleased about that either. And she's like, tough. My turn.
Yep. Hey, Candace came in just in time as we're getting ready to head out now, I think.
Hi, Donnell. Hi, Candace. I'm reading the chat. That's why I nearly said hi, Donnell. Come on, it's late for me.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and end this. Let's see. So tonight you went down the Hetty rabbit hole too. Yes, girl. Zaza was an enabler. She sent me the papers.
You asked me to help you.
Yes.
And
I
then
just
I
wasn't
sent you the
expecting you to actually
papers.
ship me something. And when you did, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to
So
tell you no.
I'm not taking the blame for that one. You asked.
And and on Zaza's behalf, she did warn me. I just didn't believe it would be this addicting.
It's either not your thing at all or it's totally addictive.
It is. I could see myself doing this forever
If you watch
and
Daisy
ever
and
and
Daisy and
ever.
Grace, who do the
I
quilt,
love them.
did you see the latest one that she did with all the shapes?
I have it saved on my watch later thing. I just haven't actually watched it yet.
Well,
Haven't gotten that far down on my list.
all those things that apply to those quilt as you go shapes apply to English paper piecing. So when you watch her doing it, you can use this shape and that shape and this, and they'll all fit
And the best
together.
part is I have like several of her templates, so I could actually use that to cut out my stuff.
But you could make a quilt, stitch your hexes onto hexes, flowers and things onto the quilt as you go templates, and then make a
Yep,
quilt that way.
very true.
And you wouldn't need quite as many flowers.
Very, very true. I even got the jewel shaped one. I'm like, I'm dying to get in there and play with that to make the nice pointed ones and everything. But I'm like, I'll get there.
I met Nicola last year
Really?
at the Festival of Quilts. She's really nice.
She seems like she'd be really down to earth.
Yeah, she's quite funny.
Michelle's been slacking on her moderator duties. So, hi everyone who I missed. I've been on the phone with my granddaughter and had to hunt down a cookbook I had made of family recipes to email to her. Oh, just messing with you, Michelle. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get going from here and everything because I want to go relax my brain some, and I need to put my machine up here and get busy working on some other stuff.
I'm just laughing at Joe's comment, Joanna's comment.
Yeah, I'm not even
I'm not.
repeating that, Miss
I'm not reading it out.
Joanna.
I'm
Sheree
not going to
says,
get in
Danelle, you're
trouble.
my girl. But yeah, I am going to get going because I got more hatchies to make.
Oh, you've got it bad.
Oh, I haven't even dipped into all of my scraps yet. This is just the beginning.
Just wait till this time next year. You'll be like, sewing machine. Why do I need a sewing machine?
Well, someone's got to be able to quilt these quilts quickly.
Yeah, but that's all you'll use it for.
No, I still got to be able to do my foundation paper piecing gnomes. I mean, I got to be able to do
You
those
won't
still.
have time for that. You'll be EPPing gnomes.
They'll be like, Danelle, didn't you have a quilting channel where you sewed stuff other than just hexagons? No, I don't recall those days.
No.
Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful, beautiful evening. Zaza, thank you so much for coming on here with me.
Thank you for having me. Night, night, Patricia.
Sweet dreams, everybody. Sending much love and hugs to each and every person. If you happen to get out and about, make sure you smile because you never know whose day you can change by a simple gesture of a smile. And I will talk to everybody later.
Bye.
Bye. Let's see that.